Morning everyone, welcome to All Four Queens. Yeah, I've washed my hair, but I needed something to cover my head, so don't worry about it. Hope everyone's doing well. Another session. You never guess what I did the other day. I was mopping the floor and I'd done a recording on the old phone, and then the phone fell in the bucket. So it's currently in a tub with silicone. You know, there's the silicone things you get from, when you buy things and you've got stuff in it. So it's sitting in that, hopefully, to dry out, and I can get the two recordings off it. So this is one in advance of that. So this is another phone. Don't know how long it's going to stay for because it's a really, really old one, but we'll keep going. So today's session, spiritual session, is I said I was going to do something around contracts. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I have got a legal background, but I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a medical expert. So if you need any of those assistance, please reach out to the appropriate people to give you that. But what I did want to do is, because at the moment there's all this we said it's, karma is returning, and we don't wish karma on anyone, but obviously what you put out is what you get back. And so what I wanted to do was just give people an overview of what a contract is. We all go into these things, but do you actually understand what you're signing up to? And especially when it comes to spiritual warfare, it's so important that you understand what you're signing up for, what your expectation is, and what they expect from you. And have you been clear on what each party's role is? So, a contract. This is what a basic contract is. Offer, acceptance, awareness, consideration, capacity, and legality. So the offer is about what your duties are, what your responsibilities are, what is each party to the contract going to do. Acceptance is what's presented to you. Do you accept it? So obviously, in case of spiritual warfare, and remember we're talking spiritual, in case of spiritual warfare, some people are offered money to do things against other people. But, do you actually accept that? And I think in a previous one I said, how much does it cost to be an abuser? Do you know that that's what you're actually being asked to do? Or is it just all shiny and new and you just see the money and you don't actually see what you're actually being asked to do? So that's part of it. Awareness. Do you actually know what you're being binded to? Because not all money is good money. Some money doesn't necessarily come from God. Some money comes from the devil. So do you know what you're actually being binded to? And if you don't know what you've been binded to, maybe you should seek more clarity, especially when it comes to initiations and sacrifices. Do you actually know what you're being binded to? Consideration. Something of value to be exchanged between the parties to a contract. It's essential for a contract to be a valid and enforceable key element. So do you know what that is? Do you understand what that is? Because most people, I'm getting the impression that most people just go on what they see in terms of the money or the nice shiny car that they can have. And when somebody's asked to do something that's so outlandish, all you have to do is do this prayer. They'll ask for the most stupidest of things, but what they don't actually realise is they're selling the soul. Because like I said, not all money is good money. So, two types of contract. Two types is executed consideration and executing consideration. Something that has. Sorry, I can't read my own writing here. I write it down so fast, and I think a lot of people, when you're channeling, you're writing it down so fast that sometimes I can't read my own writing. Something that has already been performed. Payment for a car, agreed payment is executed consideration. Executed, promised to be performed in the future. So you've got one that's been performed and one that's promising to be performed. Now I get the impression that in some cases in spiritual warfare, some is still a promise. Some still people are waiting for their outcome because some people are still standing and still here. Just saying. Consideration doesn't have to be monetary. It can be anything. But value, goal, it can be anything. Goods or service, can be anything. Capacity, are you able to make the decisions that one is being asked to do? And the contract legality. All contracts are subject to the laws of a jurisdiction in the country which they then can operate. Now, I get verbal contracts may not always form that, but for me, what I'm saying is, whilst we're in spiritual, you still need to understand what you're signing up for, because without understanding what you're signing up for, you can be signing up for anything. But as we know, in spiritual, people will sign themselves up for the most lavish of things and do the most lavish things against other people just for things. But life is far more precious than things, for me anyway. I guess it's not for everybody, but for me it definitely is. So, and I guess the next part is intention to create a legal relationships. Legal, not illegal. Legal relationships. Now, I know that was a bit of a skirt around, but for me, I see a lot of people who have gone into things and they actually have no idea what they've signed up to. And I want to share on this particular one as well. There's something I want you to watch called Prayer Storm, and it's about James Kawalia. I can't pronounce his name, but basically he's an ex-Satanist and a high-ranking African and he was a high-ranking African warlock, and he encountered Jesus. Now, the actual title says, I was married to a 60-year-old with which the day I was born. But the point that I'm trying to make there is in that video, and it's about 3 hours long, but it's worth watching it if you're interested in understanding how the enemy works. And I say the enemy, I don't mean it in a flippant way, but I think that seems to be how this is really. But in that, he explains how they infiltrate. Now, in my case, I mean, obviously, there's loads of people living around me that I don't recognise, and I said that in a previous one. But luckily, you know, I stand in the light of God, and that's where I am. But what they do is they'll investigate you, infiltrate your network, then try and impose fear on you, and then obviously try and go in for the kill. But watch it, it's really interesting. You know, he explains it a lot better than I do, and how and why they do what they do. Because, like I've always said, I know people don't believe in God. There was somebody actually who said to me the other day, well, I don't believe in God. And my question to that was, because, you know, that's everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but my question to that was, but you dance in the devil's highway every day. You know, we are consumed by devilish things every day. And I'm not saying we shouldn't do the things that we enjoy, not at all. But I do think there needs to be some balance. And I do believe that, you know, where, you know, there's this drive for so much negativity and materialism and wants and all this stuff, there's got to be a balance of, well, what does God say? And then make your own decision. But at the moment, what's happening is the world is being just forced into one position. If you look around, where are all the churches? Where have all the churches gone? You know, be more aware and use your intuition and your discernment. Where have all the churches gone? Why do we not have a Sabbath day anymore on a Sunday? You know, consumerism. Why don't we? You know. And I think there's children that have been brought up in this world that have probably never known Sunday to not have shops open. So I'm just saying, you know, who drives that agenda and why? And what do you want? You know, what do you want? It's your world as well, you know, or do you just want to be told what you've got to do and be led? So I'm just saying. But so spiritual session. I know it wasn't really a spiritual one, and I bumbled a little bit, but I'm trying to hope that this camera does what it's supposed to on the tin, and I'm not going to redo it again. I tend to just do one cut and that's it, and if I stumble, I stumble, because I'm not one for like fancying it up really. It's authentic, it is what it is. So I'm going to love yous and leave yous. Take it easy. There is a couple more I'm going to do as well, but I just want to see what this camera does, and hopefully, fingers crossed, pray for me that I can get all the other stuff off that other one. So I love you lots. Take it easy, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.